One of the biggest challenges for companies and investors is to find future opportunities that meet both ethical and financial criteria. FIM is an expert service provider offering unique wealth management and investment services for institutional investors and individuals. The stock market is able to allocate capital to companies providing new solutions and innovations. Investing in a better tomorrow provides opportunities for everyone.
Has the stock market accepted the consensus of the scientific community that the climate change is happening?
I think it has, but there might be different opinions on how the climate change actually affects companies, which are listed in the stock market. But we are moving all the time more and more into the direction that we know there are consequences for the companies, and some are winners and some are losers.
What kind of consequences are you talking about?
Well, some companies are in a good position in front of climate change. They can provide solutions, for example, to tackle climate change, and some companies are obviously in a bad position. They can produce something that actually harms climate and so on. And consequences will be that the investors see those companies with different kind of opportunities going forward. So they are winners and losers. Yeah.
What about carbon intensity? Let's talk about that. Do companies that produce a lot of CO2 feel that in their market value?
There are extreme examples like coal mining companies. They have suffered heavily in the last several years, and their market cap have gone down dramatically in some cases. Then there are a lot of companies in the, let's say, gray area. They have a big carbon footprint and carbon intensity. Investors are interested more and more on the issue, and they're trying to price the externalities that's caused by the carbon emissions, and so it's having effect all the time.
Ethical investing began with avoiding companies that do harm, but there's a change in that too.
Yeah, I think ethical investing is still like excluding things. But since, let's say, within the past 10 years, there's been a big change towards, we can call it either responsible investing or sustainable investing, where we also look for opportunities. So it's not only excluding stuff, which is still like ethical investing, but really it's a positive change towards opportunities as well.
And investors obviously are looking to make money in that area also. Like, what kind of companies are the big benefiters of this change?
Well, I like to ask a question, is a company's product a problem or solution? Obviously, those companies whose product offers some sort of solutions, they will be big winners, because there are a lot of problems around, and we need solutions for those problems. And there are solutions available.
Where do you see the investment flow going towards right now? You mentioned these companies that are part of the solution and not the problem. What kind of sectors and industries and companies are included in that cluster? Well,
obviously these flow changes are huge, and they materialize within a long period of time. But if you look, let's say 2-3 years back, there's been an increasing amount of money flowing into ESG kind of products. Those products can have companies from all sectors, well, almost all sectors. So it's hard to say that money is running out from one sector to another sector. But in general, the money is flowing more towards more sustainable products and companies.
If we think about like investment strategies and especially these kind of like sustainable investing and stuff like that, there's a lot of companies involved that are in their very early stages. They have new technology or they've just gone through IPO. Isn't this a huge risk for investors too?
Well, there is no reward without risk, and all new technologies are more risky than established technologies. But yeah, that's what investing is about. We just need to know. We don't want to be exposed to risks that we don't know, but we know that new technologies are more risky than established. So it's just daily investing.
Aren't these kind of investments highly risky in their nature? Because we can still remember that, for example, Qcell, the German solar panel manufacturer, went bust, and some of the investors are probably starting to have second questions about the 12 billion market cap of Beyond Burger.
Well, it's good to bear in mind that, for example, the German solar cell producer you mentioned, it didn't go bust because of solar cells wasn't going to be a big thing, but it went bust because Chinese took over the industry, and actually solar cells are very bulk things these days, and I think the cycle was quite brief actually. So it's established technology these days, and that there are companies making a lot of money in that sector as well. And but anyway, whenever there is new technology or new phenomenon, it's quite normal that it can cause bubbles as well, short bubbles. But after years, well, if the technology is successful, it will just become a normal life.
Al Gore is a strong proponent that climate change prevention might be a significant financial opportunity for companies. Can we find evidence from the market to support his view?
Sure. I mean, for example, solar energy industry in USA employs a huge amount of people these days. At the same time, the people working in coal industry has been diminishing a great amount. Same time. So it's only common sense that money is flowing towards solutions, and those solutions actually increase economic growth as well, provide opportunities for workers and so on.
If you look at the companies that are not in the stock market already, are we heading into a period where we experience a surge of IPOs from these new companies in the very near future?
I don't believe in a surge. There's always been IPOs and there will always be IPOs, and I don't expect a surge. But obviously more and more new companies will be formed because of climate change as well, because they want to find solutions, and there's great demand for solutions, as already mentioned several times.
And it's not just the new companies and these innovative and technology companies that are doing that. It's the old companies, the establishment is doing their part too.
Sure, I mean, everybody has to adapt, and for example, energy efficiency, all companies can save money and climate, just working more efficiently when it comes to energy usage. Millennium Prize is about innovations, and FIM wants to be innovative asset manager as well, and we as an investors are trying to continuously find innovations around and invest in them, and Millennium Prize is kind of investing as well.